The Beast is arguably Kings Island's most famous roller coaster and is the longest running roller coaster in the world. I had the opportunity to secure 10 rides on this thing, including a post-firework night ride around 11 p.m., which was insane. Today I'll be reviewing it in full, talking about the good parts, the bad parts, and everything in between. We'll be going from when you enter the queue to when you step off the ride into the exit. This is going to be a very in-depth and naturally a very long review, just like the ride itself. So buckle up if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's begin. The Beast opened in 1979, located in Rivertown, in the very back of the park. It towered over the rest of the rides as the world's tallest, fastest, and longest wind coaster, and still holds the longest wind coaster record today. The Beast has its own designated plaza that's off in its own area. It's pretty imposing since it's the only thing in the area, and there are cool animal footprints on the path. The entrance is actually a little weird since while there is a Beast sign a little farther back, the entrance itself is a building designed to look like some kind of mining company building. I don't really know what it's trying to be, but it's pretty weird, honestly. But anyway, the queue is kind of nice because while there is just a lot of switchbacks, it's like your standard queue. It's decently aesthetically pleasing, with all the wood around, and there are signs detailing the ride's construction, as well as the guy who's ridden the Beast 40,000 times, Carl Eichelman. When you get to the station, you'll be assigned a row. In my experience, groupers will almost always honor row requests, unless it's after the fireworks, since they really need to just get people through, which is totally fine, I understand that. Honestly, even though I didn't get a front row ride at all, I don't necessarily think which row you're sitting in really matters. If you want a smoother experience, you should probably pick the middle of any car, but for me, the roughness just adds to it, so I'd be glad to sit in a wheel seat if needed. Once you depart the station, you're going to make a big right turn past the queue, getting a great view of the empty plot of land where Vortex used to be, Kings Island's long-gone aero looper. Wonder whenever they're going to get a replacement for it. It's been, 7 years? After the turn, you start up the lift hill, and this is 100% the slowest lift hill I've ever been on in my life. I know it's so that block zones can be cleared, but you're going up for 5 minutes. I swear, we had to be going no more than 1 mile an hour. You could do an evac without even having to stop the train. It's that slow. Okay, probably not, but you get my point. About 2/3 of the way up, though, you do speed up a decent amount, which is good, in full send over the drop. No ridiculous slowdown at the top, unlike Orion, where it jolts you forward just for suspense's sake and ruins all the momentum. I will say that this drop was very good, almost on the level of Grizzly, but Grizzly gets the edge due to the fact that it pulls you to the left on the way down, while this one is just straight down. The airtime was still pretty good due to the gravity group retrack, though. The first tunnel you blast through is honestly probably the worst tunnel on the ride, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's still very fun since it's right after the drop and generally unexpected if you don't know the ride and you're a first timer. The first left turn is kind of forgettable, honestly, but after that, the hill gave shocking airtime. The second drop down after that turn that I think got retracked last year, so that's why there's so much airtime on that. Now here comes the part of the ride that everyone dunks on, the trim. I'll be honest, it wasn't that bad, and I found the second trim leading into the helix to be slightly worse, but neither of them truly took away from the ride. Honestly, I'm glad they're there so this thing can live much longer. Without them, especially this one, I cannot imagine how insanely fast and probably borderline dangerous this thing would go. After the trim, you go through some fun turns through the woods that are way, way faster than I thought they'd be. This is like Alpengeist level stuff, because the POV on Alpengeist looks slow when the ride's really fast. Near the end. The POV on the Beast looks slow when the ride is really fast in real life. So, I don't know what it is. POV, I guess since POVs are taken early in the morning, they just look naturally slower, plus the train's empty, so less weight. I don't know. So, the second tunnel is awesome, but still not my favorite tunnel on the ride. It's so loud and you really plow through it. The turns themselves, especially near the end of the first half towards the second lift hill, gave shockingly good laterals as well as positives. I remember the last turn especially, giving insane positives, slamming my body against the lap bar, which would be bad on any other ride, but the Beast gets a pass just for how wild it is. Now we get to the second lift hill. This one's not as slow as the first one, but still takes a while to get to the top just because of how tall it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's probably I'd say it's probably 200-ish feet, but because of the terrain elevation, the drop is only 140 feet, so it's weird. It's a very, very terrain heavy ride. That's why I like it so much. It goes through the woods. It's so terrain heavy. It feels more like a journey than a roller coaster, if I'm being honest. Mystic Timbers is obviously the second best ride in the park, but I think Mystic Timbers is 12 in my rankings, which is still great. But Beast is 2, so it's 10 spots above it. Anyway, you'll see the sign advising you to keep your hands down, and honestly, for what comes next, I'd listen to that advice if I were you. You begin turning to the left, and then straighten out at an 18-degree angle going down. When you start tilting to the left, you realize it's all over. There's no escaping it. You hit that second set of trim brakes, which doesn't hit that hard, but are still noticeable. At least you still pick up an insane amount of speed by the time you hit the helix. Honestly, the second drop feels less of a drop and more like a launch to me, as you just keep picking up more and more and more speed. Now comes the helix. My favorite part of this ride and what cemented it as my number 1 coaster when I first rode it. It's kind of hard to describe how this feels. Almost like you're picking up so much speed and then just suddenly get slammed to the right. And when I say slammed, I mean slammed to the right. It's no joke. This is probably one of the most intense coaster moments I've ever done. And I've ridden I-305, 40-something times? The laterals are sustained all the way throughout the double helix. And after the helix, you turn and hop up into the final brake run, which is honestly pretty bouncy, but that's to be expected with all warning coasters. It's still more enjoyable than Rapterra. And with that, that's the ride experience of the Beast. Truly an amazing roller coaster. It's great during the day, but at night, it's a whole different beast. I'm so funny, aren't I? At night, I feel like everything is just elevated above what it is during the day, or amplified. I use the word amplified to describe this as an amplified grizzly. But at night, this ride is just so amplified from what it is during the day. I'm sure that makes sense. It naturally runs faster. It's more menacing in the queue, and that final helix in the dark is no joke. Same with that tunnel. It's so dark that you can't even see it coming, and it's a seamless blend with the night sky, which I found really cool. Truly an insane experience, and one I'd love to do again one day whenever I come back. Maybe for haunt, but that's an astronomically sized maybe. Especially if I somehow manage to get to Ohio for my birthday. Somehow. Not saying that's going to happen. That's probably not going to happen. But I would rather go to Cedar Point so I could get on Magnum and Raptor and get back on Top Thrill, Steel Venge, and stuff like that. So, to wrap it all up, I'm going to give it a final score. Which, of course, as all of you probably guessed, is a 10. This is a perfect coaster in my book. I believe that there's nothing wrong with it. In the coaster community, it's very divisive. I understand that. I understand that some people might not like the roughness. And I do understand that people have a lot of sentimental value. Even with me not having any sentimental value for this ride, at all. This is my first time in Ohio, but no sentimental value at all. It's still my number 2 overall. Just behind Steel Vengeance, because of course it is. Anyway, do you agree with my thoughts? Did you disagree? Post all those thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and share for more content in the future. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.